times. I mean, when I was young, my list was like, I had to marry Jesus because
Oh,
no one was
man.
this perfect.
No one's
right?
going to be Jesus, man.
Right.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I think, it was good because I started to realize the priorities.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Pastor and Wife podcast.
We welcome you to hang out with us today.
I'm Hansel.
I'm Natalie.
Okay, so we did some stuff on love.
We did love. We talked about the real meaning of love, agape love, and then we talked about dating.
Yeah.
Kind of want to get practical about how to, I don't know, what love is like in the real world in our lives.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let me ask you the question. How does a young, or maybe not so young, Christian woman find a husband?
Yeah, I was thinking about our episode about dating recently, and I don't want to oversimplify it
Yeah.
because when you're a young woman and you're really wanting to be married and you feel like you're ready and you're just looking,
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to speak from experience, and that it's really frustrating to hear someone say, "Oh, just pray and everything will be fine. It'll
Yeah.
happen."
I hear that a lot.
There's nothing more frustrating when you're in it and you're like, "I am praying, I am doing all this," and it's not happening.
Okay. All right. Well, doesn't the scriptures say to do that, though?
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to do. But I wanted to kind of maybe share a little bit of my experience,
Yeah.
just because, not talking about like long-term singleness,
Yeah.
but, I think for a Christian woman, it's difficult to be in a position where you want to honor God and you're
Yeah.
doing the best you can, and maybe you feel like you want to be married more than the men around you want to be married.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so as a Christian woman, like, do I become the pursuer? Like, it kind of puts you in a weird position because, I don't know. You don't want to pursue a man because you want to be pursued.
Yeah.
But like, you kind of feel really helpless and just kind of out of control because, what can I do?
What can you do?
Yeah.
Because I think, I'm not saying it's easier for the guy, but we are naturally the hunters and builders, and we go out and take the initiative. So when it comes to finding a wife, we'll investigate, we'll go to places and meet people. But for a young lady, one of the primary attributes, or one of the ways God made young women, is to want to be pursued.
Right.
So I guess you could feel stuck, like you're saying, if you're waiting for someone to pursue you. But on a practical note, if there's nobody around you, then you have a problem.
Right. What do you do?
Well, let me, I want to read some scriptures. I mean, there's nothing directly nothing explicitly that says this is what a young woman should do to find a husband.
Right.
But I think this is handy. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, this is super famous. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." And Psalm 32, 8 says, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you." And it says in Isaiah 30, 21, "Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" And then finally, this one, because you have to have this, Psalm 119, 105 says, "Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path." So I know in the past we did a podcast on what is a godly husband. And don't you think that's what a woman should look for?
A godly husband, yeah.
Yeah, like the attributes of a godly husband.
Yeah.
But now, if there isn't any godly husband material around
Right.
you, what can a woman do?
It's a really tricky situation. And I remember for me, after I graduated college, no, I lived in the Midwest at this point. I'm from Southern California, but I moved to the Midwest when I was probably like middle school age.
Yeah.
And then I went to college there. The Midwest is a little bit of a different animal than Southern California because
Yeah.
it's way more common for people to get married pretty young.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's kind of normal. Not everyone gets married young, but it's really common to get married young, right out of high school even, and definitely right out of college.
Excuse me.
It's common. And so I went to college and I had a lot of really good friends in college, and then some of them were getting married right out of college.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't. And I mean, I'm definitely the type of girl who has always wanted to be married and to be a mom, to have a family. And I remember being 13 years old, making a list of kind of like what my future husband would be like.
Oh, okay.
So this is like, I've been looking for a husband for like almost 10 years at this point.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Not that I would get married, but but a lot of people assumed like, oh, she could get married young. Like,
Yeah.
she's mature,
Yeah.
And then I was kind of just thinking, who the heck would I marry
Yeah.
here in my high school? Like,
Yeah. What was it
That's-
about your high school that was like not good for you?
I think just in high school, like I moved from Southern California,
Yeah.
like Valley girl, city girl,
Yeah.
to a really small town in mid-Missouri.
Yeah.
And it was a high school town.
Yeah.
And it just was still kind of foreign to me. It just never really felt like this is my home and I want to marry a high school sweetheart who played football or whatever. You know? Like, there just wasn't
that's a
anyone.
normal thing for a lot of Americans, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But it wasn't really for me. I mean, I knew there was no one there. I wasn't popular in high school.
Yeah.
There was no one there.
Okay. So then what did the Lord tell you, and how did he tell you?
So I went to college, and you kind of want to meet someone in college. Your friends or roommates are meeting people in college.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I mean, we had, interest. I had really good friendships and everything, amazing friendships. I had a great time in college. But no one that I would just like, let's get married.
Oh, okay.
So I graduated college, and I kind of was just like working and just living at home. I had started to do some like graphic design freelancing. I started to work, to have my
Yeah.
own business, honestly. I think when did I start that? I think I started my own business out of college. And I was kind of just waiting around in this small town in Missouri, and I was like, woe is me. And I really did feel stuck because what do you do? I mean, I'm a really young Christian woman. I don't see anyone around me who I really wanted to marry. And I kind of was just feeling sorry for myself, just feeling really stuck, just kind of waiting,
Okay.
just kind of a victim to my circumstances, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I had a friend, and we were talking, and, this friend told me, you need to broaden your horizons.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's like, it's kind of a hard truth, but, I knew he was right. And, so I started, it kind of just changed my thinking. Like, stop being a victim to stop just waiting. Like,
yeah.
live your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to be stuck here. You don't have to just sit here doing nothing, just twiddling your thumb, just waiting for someone to just come rescue you,
Okay.
And so it was at that point that I moved to Northern California. So we had some family friends in Northern California, and I went to visit. bought a plane ticket, and I was working, living at home. So I had a little bit of, it's a perfect time to just travel. I was going on mission trips, all this stuff. So I went to visit NorCal, and I decided just to move out on my own.
Yeah.
So I moved out there, lived with our family friends, who was mutual friends with you, and that's where I met you.
Yeah.
But even when I started going to that church and getting involved, I was like, there's no one here. So I'll just wait. But I think at that point in time, because I had moved on with my life, and I made it my goal to not just sit and wait.
Yeah.
But I made it my goal to, like, I'm going to live life. I'm going to pursue some goals.
Okay.
I'm going to get a career that I kind of have been wanting to get. And I bought my first car.
Oh, yeah.
My little Jetta, little manual Jetta. I love that car. And I became really happy with my life because I was pursuing dreams and goals that I had wanted to pursue.
Yeah.
And at that point, I wasn't feeling so sorry for myself and stuck because I was beginning to live, and I was feeling really satisfied with life.
Okay.
And happy, and not so, forlorn about everything, and not so longing, but I just began to be more assertive with my own life.
Yeah.
And that's when I met you.
Okay. Yes. So you're hitting on something that's really important, I think, is if your only goal in life is to find a husband, you might be going the wrong way. Because the husband that you want comes from you being who you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Like a good teacher of ours said, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are.
Right.
Right? So if you want someone who loves the Lord, who's responsible, who wants a family, maybe you should be the person that is that, and the person that you want comes along. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of, and I'm speaking from a man's perspective, I think a lot of women, they have their lists.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
And it's tough because the older women get, it seems like the longer the list gets.
It seems like the longer the list gets, but it seems like the shorter the option, the smaller the options are.
Yes, and I could tell you why, because men want a younger wife. And this is just biology. This isn't a moral thing. It's because younger wives have a longer period of time where they can have children. And that's kind of like built into the man to desire a younger wife, and so if you're older and you have a longer list, naturally your options will become more thin.
Right.
So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, how do you break that vicious cycle? Let's say a younger woman has an advantage, a biological advantage, right? Because of that fact, how men were created. And I get why God did that. It's just practical, right? But now, like if you're older, maybe you made a couple mistakes. Maybe you went after the bad guy because he was hot, and it didn't turn out good.
Well, and I have a theory of why women like the bad guy too.
Okay, why is that?
It's because they're more assertive.
They are more assertive, yes.
And even a woman who has natural leadership abilities, they don't want to be the leader 24/7 of their own, all the time.
Yeah.
Like say there's a woman who's a CEO.
Yeah.
Unless she has like some issues, some control issues or whatever.
Yeah, true.
She doesn't want to lead her own household. Like she wants to break, she wants to be led sometimes too.
Yeah, and I think that's biological as well, that God created that dynamic. And yes, it's biblical that the man should be the head of the household. It's because it fits the way God created men and women.
Yeah.
But you're right. The bad guys are more assertive, but they're not good.
Confident.
Yeah, they're confident, but they're not good life choices for family. You know, so I think my humble opinion, women have to be more discerning when they're younger, and not just go after the hot guy because he's not going to be there in the future. I've seen it so many times where, oh, look at this guy with his shirt off and he's in Cancun and he has a nice car. And I go, yeah, it's totally attractive. I get it. Because men, we do the same thing on the opposite end of the spectrum where,
Yeah.
oh, this girl is hot, and it's all about looks and, X, Y, and Z. And both things are rooted in, natural desires, right? Like for the man, it's for a younger woman who is, because the body structures, not to be graphic, but like hips and bust size are a reflection of fertility.
I mean, it's been that way since ancient
Yeah,
times.
yeah. And then on the woman's side, a man that has a nice car and that's healthy, that can afford vacations, that's a sign of security. That's a sign of you are able to sustain a family, right?
Yeah.
So the root isn't bad.
Yeah.
But if it's just about that, it could lead you down and it's deceptive.
Yeah. And I mean, going back to, what you're saying about we shouldn't just try to pursue being married, but we should, not stop living our life, like continue to live our lives and pursue what God has for us in our singleness.
Yeah.
And I think we can kind of make a bit of an idol out of the things that we long for,
Yeah.
That and we see other people have them, oh, it's easy for you to say because you're married. It's easier for you to say that, someone will just come along when you least expect it, even though that's mostly what happens. But I think it's because when we start to pursue, what God has for us in our current season and not longing for something that we don't have, then that's really putting us in the right place to be ready for what he has for us.
I agree. Now going back to my before we started talking about the bad guy, man, it just seems like women shouldn't get to the point where they're too old to require so much.
Okay, so you're saying we should have long lists when we were young?
Well, not too long because then you won't find anyone.
Yeah, and I think that's true because sometimes, I mean, when I was young, my list was like, I had to marry Jesus because no one was this perfect.
No one's going to be Jesus, man.
Right.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I think, it was good because I started to realize the priorities. You start to know yourself.
Yeah.
And what things that you need to complement you or your weaknesses or whatever.
Okay.
And you need the other person to be strong. I always knew that I would marry a people person, someone who loved people. Yeah. I always knew I'd marry a pastor for some reason. I don't know. Something the Lord really puts in you,
Yeah.
But the important things like the values, the worldview.
Yes.
Do you want children or not? That's a big thing. Your level of faith, your kind of, belief system, all of that. And I remember, all of those boxes were checked, when I met you. And over time, we got to know each other. And I knew I needed to marry like a deep thinker and not just someone who's just surfacey. And because a lot of really outgoing people can just kind of stay on the surface, right?
True.
And so I tested that with you.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know it.
I didn't know it.
But I did. I was like, oh, wow, he's not. Because I thought you were really surfacey at the beginning.
Yeah, I know. People misjudge me.
You're misjudged. But yeah. And so these were all things, that I knew were really important for me.
Yeah.
And for me to be able to serve God with someone. Those things.
I think for Christians, especially Christian women, that's the most important thing. Is not only the character of the person, is this person that you're looking that as a potential husband would have the good Christian character, but will this person be compatible with my mission in life from God?
Right.
So it's suffice it to say, if you don't have a mission from God, then you won't find a person that has a mission from God.
Right. And you'll kind of be lost, I think. And
Yeah.
and that brings around a lot of confusion, because then you won't know. I mean, if you are dating someone, you're like, I don't know, is this person right for me? And you
Yeah.
just don't know, because if you don't have a handle on what God wants for your life, you won't really know when the guy that shows up can go along with that or not.
Oh yeah. I mean, I work or will work with, like activism or Christian public works or whatever. There's a lot of single people in that group
Yeah.
that are a little bit older. And from the outside in, I'm looking at these groups and, they're pro-life, or they work to secure elections, or, like right-wing Christian things. And I'm looking from the outside in, I see people that are technically compatible with each other all the time.
Yeah.
And they're saying the same thing, especially the women. Well, the right person hasn't come along yet. And I go, what about these guys? Like, they got jobs, they got houses, they're Christian,
You're working alongside each other for the same goals
same
already.
values, yeah. And I'm wondering what it is that is keeping people. Now, I can speak about the men. I know the men, a lot of them maybe have been divorced or had bad experiences with women. And I suppose the women also had bad experiences with men. But I think people need to understand, like, yeah, those things maybe, set you back. But at the same time, it doesn't mean God doesn't provide for you, a husband or a wife.
Yeah.
Because God's a redeemer. He can redeem anyone's past. So if you made mistakes in the past with people, God can redeem that. But I don't see, to be honest, I'm just being honest, like a lot of the women I see are very judgmental because they've been hurt.
Yeah, I think that's the root issue, is that because of past hurt, which happens when maybe you don't have a solid, like, father figure in your life, and you have a lot of insecurities, you grew up with a lot of dysfunction in your home, and then maybe you have a bad picker, right? And you don't know the guy to choose, and you choose a bad one, and you're dating him, and then he hurts you, and then you have trust issues. There's just this pattern of dysfunction that just carries on, and unless you deal with your issues, it's just going to go on, and you will be single forever, because either you won't see the right person when he comes, or you won't trust him, the trustworthy one, and you'll fall for the untrustworthy ones. I don't know. It's just a pattern that will continue.
Right. Because I see it all the time. Like, some of the ladies I work with, they have dudes around them that help them with everything, that are responsible. Again, they have jobs, houses, but they don't like them.
Yeah, and maybe it's the guy's fault too. Maybe they're really nice, and maybe they're a little too passive, and the woman can't see him leading her. Maybe she just sees him as like a yes man who just always, does everything she wants, but then she can't really respect that.
Right. Right. You need someone worthy of respect. And so, this has kind of been a burden. Like, I was like, man, should we start a ministry, singles ministry, to try to get people married? Because there's a lot of them out there, and a lot of women that are single, that they could be a prize catch for someone. And it's like, what's going on? You can't live forever.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm glad I'm not in that position. We were married when I was 27, and you were 30.
I was 30. Yeah, still kind of a little bit late.
I wanted to be married earlier.
Yeah.
I had all my kids in my 30s.
Yeah, it's good.
And which is I feel like I'm getting a little old.
Yeah.
I had our fourth child when I was 39, and it's like, it's harder when you're older.
It's harder. Yeah.
I think a lot of women just end up just resigning themselves to if the guy comes along, that's fine, but I'm just going to be single, you know, and it's a little sad.
Yeah. And I think the two-prong attack, you know, against the enemy on this would be, you know, teaching men to be men. And that's number one. But here's the thing. Men feel like they can't be assertive because they automatically get labeled as like a toxic man, or they have toxic masculinity, right? Like the workplace is a minefield. Like you can't even compliment a woman anymore, or else it's sexual harassment. And it's like men are like, well, that's it then. Like we can't do anything because it's so dangerous. I'm going to get a lawsuit or blah, blah, blah. Or we're married. She's going to take all that I have because of one thing that she's dissatisfied with. Right. And so that's part one. And then the second part, too, with women is I think they should start looking for a husband earlier.
Yeah, and that's kind of ingrained in us, too, is when we go to school. Even going to school in the Midwest, we were trained to find a career.
Yeah. Right.
And that's normal. I mean, that's totally normal for school. I mean, my parents wanted both my sister and I to go to college because they didn't have a chance to go to college, and so we did, and I had a career.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And I use my college education, my degree all the time. It's very useful.
Yeah. All the time.
I made a good choice.
Yeah.
But we're not trained to want to start families. We don't look for that first. We do the career thing first.
Right.
It's hard.
So, yeah, it's kind of setting people back. But we can curb some of these things, you know, that have been ingrained in us. And we can find a place to where I think the church is a great place to find a person.
Yeah.
You know, and again, churches, we need to step up our game, teach well, teach lifestyle well. But also, my encouragement to young women is, because more men are starting to go to church regularly than women nowadays, which is unheard of. It was quite the opposite not too long ago.
Yeah.
There's men out there in the churches that have started going to church that are good catches. And I think if you are there and you are available without too many barriers, you might find a guy that you actually want and that God actually planned for you to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep an open mind.
Open mind.
That's what God has for us.
Yeah. Pray about it.
I didn't expect to marry you. When I first met you, I didn't say, oh, this is the one.
Yeah.
So we have to stay open.
Yeah. So there it is, you guys, from the horse's mouth. My wife's not a horse. She's an amazing woman. Very beautiful. But you heard it from her mouth. It's that's what you got to do. Be open and let the Lord lead you in whatever you do, especially in finding a husband. So that's it for today. Make sure you like and subscribe and check out the video YouTube's going to suggest right here. And with that said, love you all. Godspeed and God bless. Bye.
Bye.